Alright, so I've pretty much learned the hard way, you know, my entire life that people pleasing is one of the worst things you can do for yourself as a person, and it kind of really hinders your development as a person, I feel like. Because if you're doing things to satisfy the eyes of others, the needs of others, you know what I mean? You're not doing anything for yourself. You're not what's the word? Taking action on your convictions. You're thinking like, man, like what is this person gonna think about me? What am I how am I gonna look in the eyes of these people, man? Like this is what determines my worth as a human. And that's such a destructive mindset, man. And it really just today, recently, it really just hit me harder than ever, which is why I'm talking about this right now. Cause I wanted to look good. I wanted to have credibility in the eyes of some people, and I ended up really regretting it. And it was something, I wasn't really keen on doing. I was like, man, maybe it'll turn out fine, it should be chill, whatever. But, ended up not working out, man, and I trying to, really regret going out of my way to do these things and be around these people when I could have been doing what I actually wanted to do, you know what I mean? So that's it's kind of vague, kind of all over the place in my situation, but that's kind of how I feel. Just people pleasing is really what leads to the death of the self, and ultimately your spirit. If you think about it, man, the action of people pleasing was one of the biggest turning points in human history. We saw Pontius Pilate release um, Barabbas instead of Jesus because that's what the people wanted. He wanted comfort, he wanted it to be easy, he just wanted to look good in front of these people, you know what I mean? So he released Barabbas, and obviously we know what happened there after that. Um, you know, it ended up being alright, ended up being God's will anyway, but besides the point, you can kind of see how he, chose comfort and the comfort of credibility in the eyes of others, you know what I mean? So I feel like that's a really destructive thing that you could do. I'm someone who's always been a people pleaser, you know what I mean? And it's really tough when you realize that what you're doing is really destructive to yourself, and just the feeling of regret is just overwhelming, to be honest. So that was me. I didn't want to do what were on my what I didn't want to act on my convictions because I just want to look good and look I had credibility for others. Anyway, that was day 22.